Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wicked Good Sports. It's a little too high for me. It's a little better. Don't know if it looks better on the camera, but we'll see. Of course, I'm your host, Brian Marr, and I'm here to talk a little bit about the NFL and specifically training camps. They're starting back up. So we have some news about players either reporting or not reporting. This specific episode will be about quarterbacks. Started right off. Deshaun Watson has reported to Texans minicamp. There's a big question about whether or not he was going to. Obviously, he is unhappy with the Texans. He had a phenomenal year on the football field last year, truly MVP caliber, but it was not really helpful in terms of getting W's on the board. The Texans, of course, finished quite poorly, and the Dolphins got their first round pick, so they couldn't even benefit off of a bad season. And this is in spite of Deshaun Watson playing quite well. So he was obviously agitated about that. He showed up to minicamp. He's not going to get fined, but he has made it clear that he would like out of Houston. Houston, for their part, they seem open to trading Watson now. However, according to Tom Pelissero, the conversations for Deshaun Watson to leave Houston start with 3 first-round picks. And quite frankly, I think that's just a little bit too much for the player, and it's not because of his talents, it's because, of course, his off-the-field actions. So, unless you've been living under a rock, you're probably familiar with Deshaun Watson. I'll just say it. He is being accused of perpetrating some fairly heinous sex crimes against a lot of women. It's playing out. We don't know what's going on. We just heard about it earlier in the offseason, and now it's still going on. More women are coming forward to file complaints against the star. So putting all, the specific criminal aspect aside, just what does this mean for football? He's going to be suspended for a good chunk of time this season, if not the entire season. It certainly wouldn't surprise me to see him just not play at all. So I think starting at 3 first-round picks is a little bit hopeful for Houston. If they really want to get rid of him, it's quite possible that they're just setting the bar so high so that no one actually seriously pursues him, given what's happening in his legal situation. We'll see how that plays out, but I don't see any team chasing Deshaun Watson at this time with everything that's going on. So moving on from Deshaun Watson, we'll talk a little bit about Aaron Rodgers. All offseason, well, I shouldn't say all offseason. Since the draft, when Adam Schefter dropped an absolute bomb on our heads about Aaron Rodgers being upset about how the Green Bay Packers were treating him and not really taking seriously building around him. And there's just generally a rift between the front office and the player. We haven't really known what was going to happen. We got some clarity today. It would appear that Aaron Rodgers will be reporting to camp. The sides are working on concessions, and those concessions include freeing up Aaron Rodgers to have more flexibility in 2022 and 2023. Obviously, he'll play this year normally, but the contract's being restructured so he'll have a say in his future, and he could become a free agent in 2023. He could also get traded next offseason. That might be more appealing for the Packers, certainly, than just letting go a player who's coming off, remember, an MVP season. So that's good for them, obviously. Another part of the concessions being tossed around is that the Packers are going to trade for Texans wide receiver Randall Cobb. If you're a Chicago Bears fan, that probably isn't what you want to hear. Randall Cobb, while he was with the Packers and while he was with Aaron Rodgers, routinely dominated the Chicago Bears, including perhaps most famously beating them in overtime, or rather right near the end of the game, to send the Packers to the playoffs and knock the Bears out of the playoffs. So it could be interesting to see Randall Cobb back. Yes, he's lost a step. He's a bit older, but potentially getting back with Rodgers could be what they need to have a more successful offense. Obviously, you have Devontae Adams, who was just recently reported that he didn't want to come back. Now that Rodgers is back, he'll probably be much more open to returning to Green Bay. So if you're a Packers fan, it was a tough offseason. And then the last couple of weeks, the Bucs won the NBA Finals, and Aaron Rodgers is coming back. So you are probably quite happy. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think Aaron Rodgers will stay with the team? This new deal really opens it up for the team to step up and build around Rodgers in a way that they perhaps haven't previously, and show him that they want him around. Do you think that's what they're going to do, or do you think this is just kind of a formality? Rodgers will play out his contract with Green Bay and then move on to greener pastures, no pun intended, with Green Bay elsewhere. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for checking out that clip. If you want to follow us, we have lots of sports videos coming out all the time. We have other YouTube channels. Wicked Good Everything is our main channel, focuses on comedy and nerd news. Then we have our podcast channel, which is Better Radio. And then you can follow the channel on Twitter at Wicked Good Sports, or at WG Everything, on Instagram at Wicked Good Everything, on Twitch at twitch.tv/Wicked Good Everything, and TikTok. Just search Wicked Good Everything. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.